It is now 8 a.m. I am delighted to welcome all shareholders and observers to this annual general meeting of Zelira Therapeutics Limited. For those that don't know me, I am Osagie Imasogie, Zelira's chairman. The other directors present today are Oludare Odumosu, our CEO and managing director, virtually, Tim Slate, our non-executive director and company secretary, in person in Perth, Greg Blake, our executive director, virtually, Donna Gentile O'Donnell, our non-executive director, virtually. Also present today is a representative from our auditors, HLB Mann, Judd, and Rod Soms from our share registry, Computer Share. I will ask all those present to note that the shareholders register is available for inspection and that the proxies affecting today's resolutions are tabled and available for inspection. There is a quorum present, and I declare the meeting open. Today's meeting is being held as a hybrid meeting, in person and also online, via the Computer Share meeting platform. This allows shareholders, proxies, and guests who cannot attend in person to attend the meeting virtually. All attendees can watch a live webcast of the meeting. In addition, shareholders and proxies have the ability to ask questions and submit votes. Online attendees can submit questions at any time. To ask a question, if you are here in person, please raise your hand and state your name and then put your question to me as chairman. I may ask the appropriate person to respond to your question. Those online, select the Q&A icon, type your question into the text box. Once you have finished typing, please hit the send button to make sure we get your question. Please note that while you can submit online questions from now on, I will not address them until the relevant time in the meeting. Please also note that your questions may be moderated, or if we receive multiple questions on one topic, amalgamated together. To ask a verbal question, please follow the instructions written below the broadcast. Voting today will be conducted by way of a poll on all items of business. I will shortly open voting for all resolutions. For those online, if you're eligible to vote, once voting opens, press the vote icon and all resolutions will be activated with voting options. To cast your vote, simply select one of the options. There is no need to hit a submit or enter button as the vote is automatically recorded. You will receive a vote confirmation notification on your screen. For those present in the room, please complete your poll card as we run through the resolutions. All shareholders, proxies, and attorneys of shareholders will have received a green poll card before entering today's meeting. If you do not have a green poll card and feel that you should, please raise your hand now, and Computer Share staff members will assist you. In accordance with ASX listing rules, voting on this resolution will be conducted by a poll. For those online, you can change your vote up until the time voting is declared closed. I now declare voting open to all items of business. We have not received any apologies. The notice convening this meeting was dated the 11th of October, 2024, and if there are no objections, we will take the notice of meeting as read. All right, thank you. Zelira has achieved meaningful progress over the 2024 financial year, with key milestones highlighting the importance of our launch, learn, and develop strategy, and underpinning our multiple shots on goal approach. We made significant progress with our HOPE Autism program, holding a positive pre-IND meeting with the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, and subsequently receiving positive feedback from the FDA, which sets the stage for our investigational new drug submission and the launch of phase 1 clinical trials. We also secured leading patents for HOPE 1 and HOPE 2 formulations targeting autism spectrum disorder in July. Our initial focus for our HOPE 1 program is for the treatment of irritability, in Phelan-McDermid syndrome with the comorbidity with autism spectrum disorder, an ultra-rare condition with a significant unmet medical need. Our clinical advancement during the year was underpinned by significant investment in our HOPE SPV, with total funds raised of $3.25 million US, of which $2.57 million US has been received to date. At the same time, we made progress with Zenobal during the financial year. Development work for the transformation of the drug into a capsule formulation remains on track to be completed later on this year or early in 2025. We are also close to securing a manufacturing partner for both Zenobal and HOPE-1. Looking ahead, we enter FY25 with a high level of excitement for the prospects ahead. Our launch, learn, and develop strategy ensures that we can accelerate our cannabinoid-based medications progress through clinical trials with a high degree of confidence. And we look forward to updating you on our progress with both HOPE and Zenobal. At this time, I would like to introduce our Managing Director and CEO, Dr. Oludare Odumosu. Oludare will provide a more detailed overview of the milestones achieved and key priorities, followed by an opportunity for shareholders to ask questions. Oludare, over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and good morning to our people in Australia, and good evening to our friends in the United States and from all around the world. We thank you for joining us in another year at our annual general meeting, and it is my honor to serve as the Global MD and CEO for our company at Zelira. And at Zelira, we remain focused, laser focused on a very unique strategy with multiple shots on goal. And our strategy allows us to rapidly develop cannabinoid-based products that have real therapeutic value, that are also in therapeutic areas that meet really unmet demands, and as well generate revenue with significant value in terms of returns, but also with a view on leveraging our very strong pharmaceutical background to rapidly and efficiently develop these products and pipe them into the marketplace for value. So in that capacity, we continue to focus on our launch, learn, and develop strategy. As we said in 2021, and have validated between 2021 and 2024, we've let our investors know, our shareholders know, that if in fact our strategy is real, if in fact our strategy makes sense, you will see the outputs, as we are very, very proud to share with you, as we are now beginning to see the value and the outputs of our launch, learn, develop strategy. Next slide, please. So in this fiscal year that has just been concluded, we're very pleased that in this year, we came into a space where we announced the transition of our HOPE assets into a formal FDA regulatory path with the goal of securing a new drug application within a period of 36 months. In this year, we had our first close, as our chairman said, to drive that initiative forward. We closed on $3.2 million committed, with over $2 million already deployed for the purpose of deriving value and driving the program. We're also pleased that among our achievements this year is that we advanced that program through our FDA conversation and our PIND meeting, our pre-IND meeting, to lay before the US FDA our plans, the results of which are very pleasing to us, and we're very excited that the agency provided us clarity. Across through the year, we received funds to drive our program. We also received funds from our R&D tax incentive. All of this put together make us quite excited as a company, also affirms and validate our strategy as we continue now to drive into the next fiscal year. We're very proud of the work that we've achieved this year. We consider all of it a springboard for the work that we continue to do, and we're laser focused on continuing to deliver value within our functional areas. Next slide, please. What underpins our strategy as a biotech, as a biopharmaceutical company focused on rapidly developing cannabinoid drugs is this very unique strategy that allows us to deliver high quality products targeting very serious therapeutic areas into the marketplace that then allows us to layer on very classical real world understanding. What that does is it gives us an opportunity to peek under the hood before we begin traditional regulatory trials. Why is this very interesting? Why is this very, very useful? Why is this very, very important to us as a company? Because when we are able to take all of our learning from the real world experience, usually from the perspective of the patient and from the perspective of clinicians, as in the case of our HOPE and Zenivol program, what we then see is that when we go into design our clinical trials, we have a very, very, very clear path, a very, very efficient path to product registration. So what we begin to see now, as with our HOPE program, which I'm going to speak about very quickly, is that we are moving from the first and second phase of the launch, learn, and develop strategy now clearly into the develop stage, thus validating that this strategy works. This strategy is on the course to set our company on a path to deliver high quality assets through a regulatory path and do that very efficiently and also do it efficiently with money. Next slide, please. So the very first value asset that has come out of this strategy was the announcement of our US FDA program with our HOPE-1 for the treatment of irritability in the PMS population, comorbid with autism. We have a target product profile that also has a very, very interesting pipeline. But the first lead program is what we have announced to the world as pursuing the reduction in irritability in the PMS population, comorbid with autism. We have very strong IP, issued patents for our investigative drug, and these patents are covering a very wide base, or what we call clusters of symptoms associated with autism spectrum disorder. What this allows us to do as a company is that it gives us multiple capacity to develop this program for multiple indications based on hard science, based on hard data. As I said, in the near term, we've launched our first program in this space. In the future, we're excited to see the growth of our candidates, our pipeline candidates. But I just want to speak to us very, very quickly within our achievements and the priorities. Moving forward, we look forward to leveraging the clarity we've received from the FDA on our trial design to launch our official investigative new drug program and launch our protocols and our trials both in Australia and in the US. Again, why are we excited about this program? It is because of the uniqueness of our launch, learn, and develop model and our approach to learning from real-world data and using it to drive value. This materially de-risks our programs at Zelira. This materially de-risks the investor's position for as we deploy capital. And it materially positions us to focus classically on endpoints that we know or that we have a high level of confidence of their probability of success. Next slide, please. So within the program that we have announced and discussed and started work on and received feedback from the FDA, I am pleased to tell you today that we are moving along. We're moving along very effectively. We're moving along very efficiently, and we're deploying capital as well very efficiently. We're pursuing a path to bring this drug through a new drug application in a period of 36 months. This year, this calendar year, again, we laid our plans before the US FDA. We were invited to the FDA meeting. The FDA provided feedback to us that gave us clarity on our plan. And the clarity that we've received has allowed us to efficiently narrow our focus and design a trial which we believe will put us on a path to an NDA by 2027. Next slide. In the next slide, I highlight the additional value proposition that our company has within its system. We're not just a drug development company. Zelira is also a platform technology company with very strong IP within it. I am pleased to let our shareholders know that the drug that we're taking into this investigative program for our FDA program is backed and powered by our own Zelira technology that allows us to capture cannabinoids in a free flow state and thus allows us to create solid oral formulations from our drugs. These allows us to bring into the marketplace solid oral capsules for our HOPE program and pipe them through our clinical validation program with the hope for commercial success. All of this put together as a technology company, as a product development company, positions Zelira strongly for success in the cannabinoid drug development and commercialization space. So over the next few years, we hope to bring to you reports from our development work in our HOPE program. Next slide, please. As I stated earlier, this slide captures a summary of the positive FDA feedback we received. We received official minutes from the meeting we had with the FDA at the middle of August. And I'm very, very pleased as the CEO of the company to share with our shareholders that based on our study design and the comments which we've summarized in this slide, we have made significant progress already with the successful of our pre-IND meeting to drive our program towards our next step, which is our IND submission and the launch of our phase 1 clinical trials to come. Next slide, please. Again, our company is laser focused on a plan to deliver a drug NDA submission in 36 months. We are already on the way with the first 2 steps completed. We also believe that with the target population and the target indication we have set for it, that we are on a path to bring, we have the opportunity to pursue some rather unique designations, such as the orphan designation for our drug. We also know and believe that our unique trial design would allow us to deliver success in a very, very contracted period of time. And we're very, very focused on that. That is where our energy is going to be in 2025 and moving forward. Now, why is this very exciting? Again, I want to leave us with this. The unique launch, learn, and develop strategy, which has now given us this value asset for our whole program, is also the strategy by which we are contemplating other assets within our company platform, such as Zenable. So we haven't validated this strategy. We expect and hope to see, or we are in a position to begin to drive these types of value within our company and drive them very efficiently. Next slide, please. The FDA has signed off on our initial plan. But I wanted to share with our shareholders practically what I meant in the previous slide when I said that our capacity to validate our drugs for very specific targets, but because of our launch, learn, and develop plan, we have an understanding based on real world evidence on how our drugs impact multiple therapeutic endpoints, as well as multiple target populations. Within the whole program alone, we have highlighted in this slide a pipeline of development assets across a timeline looking into the future. These make up some of our priorities as a company as we go into the fiscal year 2025. We'll remain very focused, we'll remain very busy, and we continue to ask for the support of our shareholders. And I am very, very thankful for the team, our management team, our board that provides support and has now allowed our company to be laser focused or as a biopharmaceutical company focused on our rapid commercialization strategy that is now beginning to show real value within our company. With this, I want to say thank you for the opportunity to bring these remarks, and I yield the floor back to the chairman, Osagie.
Thank you very much, Oludare. Tim, do we have any questions from our shareholders?
Thank you, Osagie. No questions have been received.
Okay. Thank you. There being no questions, we will move on to the formal business of today's meeting. I table for consideration the annual financial report of the company for the financial year ended 30th June 2024, together with the reports by directors and auditors thereon. Does anyone wish to discuss any aspects of the accounts or have any questions relevant to the conduct of the audit by our auditors? All right, there being no questions, we will move on to the resolutions. Where entitled, the chairman's proxy votes have been cast in favor of each of the resolutions. The results of the resolutions are now on the screen. So resolution number 1 was to consider and if thought fit to pass with or without amendment the following as a non-binding resolution. That for the purposes of section 250R2 of the Corporations Act and for all other purposes, approval is given by the adoption of the remuneration report as contained in the company's annual financial report for the financial year ended 30th June 2024. Proxy votes received for this resolution are detailed on the screen. Is there any discussion on this resolution? All right, please complete your poll card on resolution 1. Resolution 2, confirmation of appointment of auditors. To consider and if thought fit to pass with or without amendment the following as an ordinary resolution. That for the purpose of section 327B(1)(b) of the Corporations Act and for all other purposes, Paul Chadwick WA Audit Pty Limited have been nominated by a shareholder and given his consent in writing to act as auditor, be appointed as auditor of the company to hold office from the conclusion of this meeting until it resigns or is removed from the office of auditor of the company. Proxy votes received for this resolution are also detailed on the screen. Is there any discussion on the resolution?
No questions have come through, Osagie.
Thank you. Please complete your poll card on resolution 2. As I am the subject of resolution 3, I will now pass the chair to Tim Slate.
Resolution 3, the re-election of Director Mr. Osagie Imasogie. To consider and if thought fit to pass with or without amendment the following as an ordinary resolution, that for the purpose of clause 15.2 of the Constitution, ASX Listing Rule 14.5, and for all other purposes, Mr. Osagie Imasogie, a director, retires and being eligible is re-elected as a director. Proxy results received for this resolution are detailed on the screen, and we have not received any questions on this resolution.
Thank you, Tim. Resolution number 4, re-election of Director Mr. Timothy Slate. To consider and if thought fit to pass with or without amendment the following as an ordinary resolution, that for the purposes of clauses 15.2 of the Constitution, ASX Listing Rule 14.5, and for all other purposes, Mr. Timothy Slate, a director, retires and being eligible is re-elected as a director. Proxy votes received for this resolution are also detailed on the screen. Is there any discussion on the resolution?
No questions received.
Thank you, Tim. Please complete your poll card on resolution 4. Resolution 5, approval of 10% placement capacity. To consider and if thought fit to pass with or without amendment the following as a special resolution, that for the purpose of Listing Rule 7.1a and for all other purposes, approval is given for the company to issue up to that number of equity securities equal to 10% of the issued capital of the company at the time of issue, calculated in accordance with the formula prescribed in ASX Listing Rule 7.1a.2, and otherwise on the terms and conditions set out in the explanatory statement. Proxy votes received for this resolution are detailed on the screen. Are there any questions or discussions of this resolution?
No questions received.
Thank you, Tim. Now, please complete your poll card on resolution 5. As I am the subject of resolution 6, I will now pass the chair to Tim Slate.
Thank you, Osagie. Resolution 6, approval of issue of convertible notes to Mr. Osagie Imasogie. To consider and if thought fit to pass with or without amendment the following as an ordinary resolution, that for the purpose of ASX Listing Rule 10.11 and for all other purposes, approval is given for the company to issue a convertible note to Mr. Osagie Imasogie or his nominees with a face value of USD $1.4 million on the terms and conditions set out in the explanatory statement. Proxy votes received for this resolution are detailed on the screen, and there has been no discussion on this resolution. Please complete your poll card for resolution 6.
Thank you, Tim. That concludes the questions section of the meeting. I would like to advise that voting on all resolutions will close shortly. For shareholders in the room, a Computershare staff member will collect your poll card. Online shareholders, I will provide you with a few moments now to allow you to finish voting. Please complete your voting now. All right, I now declare the poll closed with the results to be announced to the ASX later today. This concludes the formal part of today's business, and there's no general business to be conducted. Thank you for your attendance, ladies and gentlemen, and I declare the meeting closed.